Over the last century, one of the most common debates, other than gay marriage, has been the legalization of marijuana. Just like gay marriage, though, there are two extremes to the argument: those who are completely and utterly against it, and those who are 150% for it. Me personally, I'm for the legalization and the utilization of marijuana. First, there are many medical benefits to the controlled use of marijuana. Secondly, it is a waste of resources and can help to clean up the streets. Lastly, marijuana can easily be taxed in order to turn a once frowned upon herb into a booming business opportunity that generates revenue. To begin with, it has been proven that marijuana is not as harmful to one's health as the Reefer Madness video of 1938 portrays. The video grossly exaggerates the effects that marijuana has on a human being, and it was purposely used at the time to create even more segregation amongst Hispanics, African Americans, and Anglo Americans. Just to name a few illnesses slash medical problems that marijuana is used to remedy, looking at things like glaucoma, multiple sclerosis, seizures, sleep disorders, diarrhea. The list goes on. The most recent example of the positive effects of cannabis is with a 5-year-old little girl that you'll see on the next slide, that at such a young age had almost lost her battle to a rare disease. Instead, her parents decided to give medical marijuana a try to cure the extremely rare Dravet syndrome. A strand that was low in THC and high in CBD was tried in order to reduce Charlotte's seizures from close to 1,200 a month to just 3 to 4 a month. Unfortunately, however, with the increasing attention to criminalizing the natural herb, further medical research to discover the new and great remedies has pretty much essentially come to a halt. While scientists are consistently finding new medical remedies for the plant, they're not allowed to bring them to light because of the federal guidelines. So kind of switching topics here, instead of concentrating on a misdemeanor charge for a small amount of cannabis possession, our law enforcement officials can instead be focused on catching more illicit criminals. With an overcrowded penitentiary system, federal and state agents are struggling to figure out a way to reduce the amount of inmates drowning in the system. By offering individuals the opportunity to strive instead of getting caught up in a vicious cycle, it allows them to learn from their mistakes. There's a waste of limited resources when an officer is arresting a low-level infraction. Hence, Governor Schwarzenegger has just recently changed the possession of up to an ounce of marijuana from a misdemeanor charge to an infraction, or the equivalent to a parking ticket. Special drug units, task enforcement units, gang units, and other specialized groups specifically organized to fight the war on drugs would be downsized, dramatically reducing operational costs, assets, resources. Even though this would solve the issue on a state level, federal drug enforcement agents are still, till this day, pursuing drug users, distributors, and manufacturers. Lastly, and probably the most important in these difficult times, is the idea of taxing and regulating marijuana to produce some sort of revenue. If we take a look at this slide here, we can see that the cannabis plant is good for food uses, salad oil, margarine, industrial textiles with twine and rope, even printing paper. They say that the Declaration of Independence was actually printed on printing paper used or manufactured with cannabis. In addition to the cost savings at the state level from eliminating drug agencies and reconcentrating their efforts, there's money to be made in taxing the production, distribution, and overall business of marijuana. It is estimated that cannabis, in the regulated form that it is today, will generate about $8.7 billion in revenue in California alone. This might be the solution to our trillion-dollar debt crisis. Just imagine the state having Walmarts of marijuana, where a patient can go in and purchase different strands of marijuana that was produced by the very farms of the area. This would improve vastly the local economy and help to get street marijuana off the streets. Entering a store that is safe to purchase your marijuana plants, seeds, edibles, is a huge change from purchasing it from the thug on the street corner. The legalization of cannabis has long been a heated topic of discussion, as we all know, between those who think it came straight from the devil and those that see the potential that it has, not only as a medical remedy, but also as a new economic cash cow. For these reasons, I support the legalization of marijuana. It's a medical marvel and will free up used resources when no longer pursued as a crime, and probably most importantly in these times, it'll create a new cash crop.